Alright everybody, welcome back to my channel for this declutter. This bag, which is a fairly large bag, contains all of my face products. So bronzers, blushes, powders, highlighters, and this is what we're going to be decluttering today. I don't know how much of it I'm going to get rid of. I really don't know. But yeah, I guess we'll find out. So if you guys want to see what all I declutter, what all I'm going to get rid of, just stick around, keep on watching, and let's get started. Okay, sorry about the fact that you guys can see like the corner of the book that y'all are standing on. My phone's really heavy, so it wants to like tip forward, and this was the only way I could get it on there. But let's start with what's just like on the top of the bag. Oh, you guys can't even see half of it. Well, I guess we'll do this item by item then. So this is the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in Your Trip. Where's the lens at? Right there. It's pretty well used. I mean, you guys can see that. I really like it because it's more of... We're gonna have to change this angle, y'all. This is not gonna work. Hold on. Okay, but anyway. This is the Euro Trip highlighter from ColourPop. It is a really pretty highlighter. I like it because it's more of like a sheer golden highlighter. I mean, you still have like the glitter reflect, but it's not super glittery. And this was in my everyday makeup bag before I pulled it out. So I'm going to keep that one. Flip Flop from ColourPop is the same formula. Ooh. It's like less dried out because that one's very old, but I really like it still. This one is newer. As you can see, it's a lot more blinding, but it's still really pretty. It is less glittery than this one, so I think I'm going to keep this one too. And then we have Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I really enjoy this powder as like an under eye setting powder, and also if I need to clean up my bronzer line a little bit, I'll take this and just run it underneath my cheekbone because it's supposed to be translucent. There is just a little bit of a pigment to it, so it's not quite fully translucent. It is really close. But I've gone through whole ones of these before, which is why I bought 2 of them. The MAC Prep and Prime powder. This powder is insanity. It is super duper finely milled. So you don't, it does not leave like a white cast or anything. And it does just, it disappears into the skin. It's really blurring, which I like. So I'm going to keep that as well. This Wet n Wild Loose Finish, or Photo Focus translucent setting powder. I don't know if you guys can see it from the side. It's almost gone. So I'm just going to keep this one and finish it up. I don't think I would rebuy it because it does oxidize a little bit. It's not bad by any means, but I would rather have a powder that does not oxidize on me. So I'm not going to repurchase this. I'm going to finish it, but I'm not going to repurchase it. This is the Vive Modern Bronzer Duo in the shade Light. I also have the medium shade somewhere. This is one where I'll wear if I don't want to look super snatched or bronzy, because these powders are pretty light. I mean, they're really good for people with fair skin like myself or light skin like myself. But sometimes I just want a little bit more, which is why I go for like a medium shade. I don't know if that shadow's getting in the way or not. But yeah, so sometimes I'll do that. I don't know if that'll make it too heavy though. Let me try something. Okay, I couldn't find what I was looking for. I was trying to find my little light that I use when I'm filming said I could make this a little bit brighter, but I was unable to find it. So I don't know where it went. But this is the Fenty Beauty Face and Eye Palette. This has all of her powder bronzer shades, or at least like the lightest to the deepest one. And then it also has 2 highlighters. This is a really good like eyeshadow palette just because these are all very basic neutral tones. And then these highlighters are really pretty shimmer shades. What I use this for is I have, let me see, can you even see? I have this one for like my personal use, and then I have one for in my kit that I use a lot on people. So this was really good for that. I'm gonna keep it just because it is more of like a versatile palette, and the formula is really good on this. Plus, I like the packaging. I like sleeked packaging like this. And then the last thing that I have out right now is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, the loose one. I really do like what this looks like on my skin. I think if you've got drier skin but you want to look very glowy, or if you have oily skin and you want to look very glowy, this would be a really good powder for that. It's very light, but it adds a nice sheen. I really don't know how you guys can see. But yeah, there's that. So there's those. Okay. e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder. This is very, very similar to the Hourglass one. It's just not as finely milled, so I'm going to be keeping this one. I am also going to be keeping my Essence All About Matte face powder for the exact reason that I'm keeping the Rimmel London. Plus, this one's a little bit more affordable, which I quite like. ColourPop, you guys know how I feel about this one. It was in my 2023 favorites video, so I'm not going to be taking that anywhere. I'm keeping a lot. I haven't decluttered anything yet. The NARS face powder in the shade Cliff is also really lovely. I've used this to set my entire face before, and it does not leave a white cast. It's not very drying. It's not gonna leave you like crusty and dusty. It is like a very finely milled powder, and it's a super thin compact as well, so it's really good to put in like if you have a makeup bag in your car or whatever like I do. It's really good for that. So this is another bronzing powder or palette. This is Park Ave Princess from Tarte. This was just like a highlighting, and let me lift you up a little bit so you can see. This was quite literally a bronzing and highlighting palette. So you had like your 2 face powders, 2 shimmery bronzers, and like your 2 matte bronzers, and then like 2 more shimmery bronzers. I wish that they would come back out with this because I love this. It still smells really nice. I quite enjoy it. So I'm going to be keeping that. I hope this angle is a little bit better, but I'm just going to have to hold you guys. So I apologize if it gets a little bit shaky. The next product is this ColourPop face palette in Just a Flush. It is a little bit broken, but you have one of the Super Shock highlighters, a bronzer, 2 blushes. I like this. I think I might declutter this just because I have enough other products with very similar formulas, with very similar colors. Like this color is almost identical to the 2 that I've already kept. So this is going to be the first item that I declutter, and I'm going to have to put you guys back down because I can't hold you and open stuff. I apologize very much. I wish I had a better setup. The Essence Bronzing Matte Powder. I love this. I love this in my eyes as like a crease color. I love this on my face as an overall bronzing powder. I love it as like a nose contour too, because it is like it's not super cool toned. It is still technically like a warm toned bronzer, but it is cooler toned than a lot of other bronzers, which is very nice, like for my skin tone. Another NARS product. This is the NARS Basic Instincts 1 cheek palette. It's a bunch of blushes. I legit forgot I had this. which should tell you how often I use it, but I think you can still get it. And since I've hardly ever used it, I do just kind of want to keep it. As bad as that sounds, I just, because the colors are, like, it's a good powder, and I really like all my other NARS products that I have. The one thing of theirs that I've tried that I haven't really liked is the freaking mascaras. I think those are a ripoff. But I think I'm going to keep this for right now. Let me... So next is my Marc Jacobs Coconut Tantastic, or whatever it is. The, yeah, Tantastic Omega Bronzer. It's in like the white packaging with the coconut scent or whatever. It's been well used. It shattered and I fixed it. And I still reach for this every once in a while. I like the mirror in it because it's huge. I'm going to keep it. I wish that they would come back with this product. I know they've been discontinued, but I'm not getting rid of things in this video just for the sake of getting rid of them. Like, if I like them, I'm going to keep them, you know, for that reason. This is new to me. I just bought this before the end of 2023. It's an AOA Studio Blush and Contour little palette. Hello Define Duo in the shade Yes. Like, that's the name of it. These are less than $2 on Shop Miss A's website. Oops. So I have a video that's going to be up before this one. It's like trying these types of things, but it is really nice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the e.l.f. duos, and it's almost the exact same price point. So if you don't mind waiting for the shipping or whatever, you could probably get this and get a very similar vibe. It is a little bit cheaper, not a lot, because I think those e.l.f. duos are only like $3 or $4. This is like $1.88, I think. I'm gonna keep it for the sake of having it to do like my more affordable videos throughout the year. This Jaclyn Hill powder in the shade Brightening Lilac. This doesn't really brighten. It is very blurring, but it doesn't really brighten. Plus, the brands are discontinued. It's not a bad powder. Like, overall, it's a really good powder. It's very, like, finely milled. I think maybe if the brand was staying, I might keep it, but it's not. I love how I'm trying to show you how to swatch a powder. But for that reason, even though I did just get it, I'm going to get rid of it. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in the shade 110. I will be keeping. This is an amazing powder. It's very similar to Charlotte Tilbury, but it comes in more shades, which I like. But formula-wise, it's very similar. You guys can't see the divot, but there is a divot in there. So I will be keeping that. This. Let's just do these. I have 3 of these Vive liquid blush balms. This one is in the shade Cherub. These are very sheer. Like, I will show you right here how sheer they are. And yes, that's not a lot, but I'm not going to waste these because I really do like these. But when you start to blend them out, they're very, very sheer. There's still pigment there, and I like these. They blend out really well. They were my favorites of the year last year. So I'm going to be keeping all 3 of those when I find the other 2. Something else I'm going to be keeping is my Fenty powder in the shade Butter. Yeah, Butter. I'll be keeping that. I will also be keeping my Dermablend Loose setting powder. It's about halfway gone. This one I would repurchase if I ran out, as well as like my Fenty one. So that's how much I like it. So I will be keeping it. Chanel Soleil Tan. No, Soleil Lace. Let me see. Chanel Lace Beige glowing bronzer. I don't know if you guys can see, like, the fact that I've worn out, like, the design in part of it. I like this. I took this with me when I went on vacation this year. It's a really nice bronzer. I will say it gets, like, it's a little bit more of, like, an oily finish. So if you don't like an oily finish, you're probably not going to like it. But it's really sheer. It's really buildable, which is something I personally like. It is very fragranced. So if you don't like fragrance, you're also not going to like it. But for me, I don't mind. So I'm going to keep that. Where's the little thingy? Keeping that. This is the Vive face powder in the shade Light. Again, I really like how it looks on my skin. I also really like the packaging. So I'm going to keep that. This is not turning out very good as declutter now, is it? Okay. Let's do these. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Not going anywhere. You guys can see how much I've loved it. MAC blush in the shade Sweet Enough. I love MAC. I don't think MAC can do any wrong in my eyes. So I will be keeping this. It's like a baked blush. Just a really lovely color. You guys can't see it for shit right there. Let me try. It's like this really pretty pale, like rosy pink tone. Keeping that one. This one I'm probably going to let go of. This is the Marc Jacobs blush in the shade Night Fever and Hot Stuff. It's one, like, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it, but you see how it's, like, patterned right there? That's what it's supposed to look like. This dropped as well, and I repressed it. It works fine. Like, the color is really pretty, but it's just not something I'm going to use because it's almost more of, like, a highlighter now. It's really pretty, but I'm never going to use it, so I'm going to let that one go. Maybelline Loose Fit Me powder in the shade 05 Fair. I'm going to be keeping this. I like this one. I'm going to just finish it up. I don't know that I'll repurchase it, but I do quite like it. Jeffree Star Cosmetics in the shade Ice Cold. It's a Skin Frost. Y'all can see I've dug into this. I enjoy this product. I enjoy the formula. I wish that he would kind of come out with more of these. It is like a blinding white highlighter, which is why I don't use it as often as what I used to. Like before, I would wear this thing all the time. All the time. I still will reach for it sometimes if I want like a really bright inner corner highlight. But I'm not into this type of highlight as much anymore. I don't know. I might... The thing of it too is it's just like a very practical product as well, just because it's got such a large mirror in it that if you have this in your makeup bag, you don't need to carry anything else that has a mirror. This one I'm going to put in the maybe pile. Marc Jacobs. 102 Tantastic Omega Bronzer. This is just in the regular packaging. I like this bronzer too. I'm keeping it. Sue me. I don't care. I like it. If I like it, I'm keeping it. Okay. Give Me Glow Cosmetics. This is in the shade Good Times and Tan Lines. Another very good matte bronzer. Very... It's like, again, it's very pale, which I like. It's more cool toned, so that's really good for, like, my skin tone. This is the MAC Holiday palette that came out, like, 2 years ago for the highlighting one. I think, yeah, see, that's more of, like, a subtle Y'all can't even see. It's more of like a subtle sheen versus like a blinding one compared to like the Jeffree Star. I like this type of a highlight better. I'm gonna keep that one, and I'm gonna put this one in my declutter pile. Okay. These highlighters are the other reason I decided not to keep like my Jeffree Star one, because these are a very similar like formula, even in texture, and they are just as blinding. And this brand is an indie brand. It's Give Me Glow Cosmetics. That's a really pretty color. This one's in the shade Fantasy Fairy. So, and they have like very similar colors as well. So I'm just gonna keep this instead of the Jeffree Star one. I already said that. Ofra Cosmetics and the Nikki Tutorials collab. Again, it's a blinding white highlight. It's really pretty. It's really lovely. I like it a lot, but I don't like it enough that I'm not reaching for it. I'm not hunting for it in my drawer. And that tells me I don't want to keep it. I don't want to use it. Neutrogena Shine Control Powder. This is very similar, and you guys can see, I think you can see anyway, how much of a dent I've put in this. This is something that Connie picked out for me when I let her pick my makeup at Target. Like, I let her pick out a full face of makeup for me. This is what she picked out. It's a really lovely powder. Neutrogena makes good makeup, but I use my NARS one more than I use this now, so this is gonna go. Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Amber. It's just a really good cream bronzer. It is a little bit, like, you guys can see the dip in that, right? This one's not as oily as the Chanel, and it's more pigmented, which I quite like. So I'm gonna keep that. This is like the worst video ever. I'm trying to be able to show you guys, I swear. But we're gonna keep that. Oh my goodness. Okay, Kaleidos blushes. These are like the monochrome blushes. I'm gonna keep these. This one is one that Bear chewed on, which is why the packaging is all destroyed. But I love the aesthetic of these. These are really pretty to look at. They're really good formula. They're pretty wearable colors. So I'm just gonna keep all these. There's 5 of them that I have in total. So as I find them, I'm going to pull them out and keep them. This is the Venetian Romance Creamy Blush from Shop Missy in the shade Duchess. I just got these again before the end of the year. There's a full face of like Shop Missy makeup coming. But I'm probably going to keep all of these for reference points. So yeah, keep that. I'm going to keep my KKW highlighter. I really do love KKW. I know it's been discontinued, but I really enjoy it. So I'm going to keep that. Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles, the Full Fantasy Blush Palette. This made it in my favorites last year. I use this thing almost every day. Like, I kid you not, I use it almost every single day. The formula is spot on. I love it so much. So I'm going to keep that. Let me make room up here because I'm running out of room now. This is a backup of my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. I'm going to keep that. Another one of the Kaleidos blushes. I'm going to keep that. More of my Give Me Glow highlighters. I'm going to keep those. The last Kaleidos blush that I have, I believe, is this one. I'm going to keep that. The MAC Light Golden Sun Finish bronzer. Oh no. It popped out of its pan. That's a little bit concerning, I think. Yeah, okay, it popped back in. Lovely finish, really pretty color. I'm gonna keep that. Plus, I just like MAC a lot. You guys know that. Another Give Me Glow. This is the MAC Studio Fix Perfecting Powder in the shade Light. These are discontinued. I have another one, but these have been discontinued for a while, I think, so I'm just gonna declutter that one. So I already said I was gonna keep the Venetian Romance blushes. I'm also gonna be keeping the Venetian Romance bronzer that they came out with. Right, there's the color. It's a really good color. These have all got a pretty heavy fragrance, so if you don't like fragrances, you're not going to like them at all. This is the Vive Bronzer Duo in the shade Medium. I've had this one for longer, so it looks more beat up. It's a really good formula. And like I said, I go for that one when I want to look a little bit more snatched. These are my KKW Beauty like blushes. I've got like a matte and a shimmer in each one of these. Like I said, I'm not gonna get rid of any of this stuff, like any of my KKW. And if anybody wonders why, if you go back and look at my channel history, my KKW video where I did like the So Fire palette and the Cocoa Matte palette, that was my first video that ever got over 100 views when I had less than 100 subscribers. So, and those videos consistently got good reviews. It didn't matter if I was like reviewing or got good views. It didn't matter if I was reviewing the product or featuring it in a look. They consistently got good views for my channel size. So that's why I keep them. It's also just good quality. Like, I don't care what anybody says, that was good quality. Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade Fair in the limited edition packaging. The nice thing about this is if you buy like a compact that's a limited edition, you can just put the powder in there once it runs out. So if you guys don't have this packaging, it's the exact same thing. Like, it's the exact same powder. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. AOA Studio Perfect Powder. This is just white. So I'm gonna get rid of this. And also, see, this is supposed to be like a dupe, I feel like, for the Givenchy Prisme Libre, whatever, powder. It's from AOA Studios. This is tiny. Like, even in comparison to this, well, I guess they're about the same size. It is tiny. I realize it's only like $1 something, but it's tiny. And you don't get a whole lot of powder out at the same time. Like, you have to go back and tap a lot out. It's not bad. It's not great. So I'm gonna declutter that. I feel like if anybody has an issue with me decluttering like a really affordable face powder, I have Essence. That one's fine. Like, Essence works really good. KKW Honey Pop Blush. I'm keeping Fenty Beauty in Rose Rave. This is like the cream highlighter. I'm gonna keep that. The Pat McGrath Labs and Bridgerton highlight. This is the only Pat McGrath highlight I have. I'm gonna keep that. The Glowish bronzer. I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't use it. I don't like it. You know, it's not good. It's not bad. It's just not good. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Give Me Glow. I'm gonna keep. This is another one of the AOA Studio ones. I'm gonna keep that for videos. Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer in the shade Fair. I love this bronzer. It's really almost gray in tone, which makes it a really good bronzer for my skin tone, because I have a very like fair to light skin tone. So this is just, it blends really well, it goes on really well, it's not super pigmented, and it doesn't look orange. So I'm gonna keep that. This face palette is just bronzers from KKW, so I'm gonna keep that. Shit. I'm not doing very good at getting rid of shit, am I? Oh well. I don't care. Barbie and ColourPop highlighter. This can go. I don't use it. I don't like the color. It's not a very wearable color for me. It's gonna go. Let me do something. So right here in front of me, I have all of my liquid blushes and most of my cream blushes, not all of them, but all of them are at like this price point. I've got all my Shop Miss A ones and my She Glam ones, and they're both very popular on TikTok and stuff. The issue is I'm almost positive that I have duplicates in here. So I kind of want to see which ones I like better and just keep the ones that I like the best. So we're going to start swatching. This one is from Shop Miss A. It's in the shade Cutie Pie. There's that one. And this one is in the shade Refined, maybe? I don't know. It's like a darker color. Yeah, see, I can already tell that this color is too bright for me. This one, it might be a little too dark, but I have a feeling it'll sheer out. Yeah, see, it sheers out more. That's what it looks like swatched, but that one's too bright, so that one's gonna go. And then I have I can't even read some of these shade names, they're so small. But this is like a darker pink shade. It's just not as dark as that one is. That. This one is like my favorite. It's a nudie pink color from Shop Miss A. It's like a mauve tone, so I really like that one. There's those. So these are like these liquid drop formula. I also have the ones that look like nail polishes, so let me swatch those. This is like the plush blush in the shade Cumulus or Cumulus. Right there. See, that's very similar to that, I think. A little bit darker. This one is in the shade Alto. Those two are kind of similar. See, that's another really bright shade, so I don't think I'm going to keep that one. The issue is like when I buy these online, I can't tell the colors until I get them in front of me and swatch them, and by then it's too late to return them. This one's in the shade Mambo. These, yeah, they provide swatches, but that color, see, this color is just a little darker version of that one. And they're both a pretty similar formula. Okay, I think I might keep this one, so Mambo, but then I'm going to get rid of these two from Shop Miss A. And then let me see. That one's a Mambo. And then this one is in the shade Stratus. See, that is just like a more purple version of that. So I'm going to keep that for now. This is a little bit harder to do when y'all can't see. But so those are like all the Shop Miss A swatches. I'm going to go wash my arm off now and do my, well actually I'm going to leave them on there because I need to do my She Glam ones. So I have all of these liquid bloom colored blushes. This one is in the shade I don't even know. I'm not even going to bother reading the shades anymore, you guys. I'm just going to swatch them and figure out which ones I like and which ones I don't. I don't need to know the names. See, that's too light for me to want to keep that as a blush. It's wildly, like, it's too light to show up unless you want, like, a really light colored blush, which I don't mind, but I don't do it that often enough to keep it. And if I am, I have powder blush. I think that's pretty similar to that color. So I do like the formula of these ones better than I do these. These dried down a little bit and they're more of like a cream to powder or liquid to powder formula, which I do like. This shade I'm going to keep. This one's a little bit more like pinky tone. This one's more of like a dusty. This one's more pinky. I'm gonna put this one in like a maybe pile for right now. This one is there. That one can go. It's pretty similar to all those shades. Hello, boots. Oh shit. Let me go wash my arm off because I'm actually running out of room now. Alright, let's see if we can just keep it to my hand, like the back of my hand, so y'all can see. This one is that color. I'm just gonna swatch a bunch of them and then compare them. Ooh, see, that's like a deeper berry tone. That is more close to this one, to Stratus from Shop Miss A. Oops. See, that's the one from Shop Miss A. Once you blend it out, well, I guess they're not really that similar, especially not like in pigmentation. That's Shop Miss A, that's She Glam. So, and then we have this one. That's really pretty. See, like, this one is too light, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. And then This is just like too much thinking right now. There's that one. It's like a more pinky version of that. And then this one. See, this one's more like brown toned. It's still really pretty. It's just more brown. So I'm probably gonna get rid of that one. And then this one is again, it's like pretty light, but it's not it's a little bit orange, I think. Love cake. I think that one's the one that I was debating about getting rid of, but seeing it again, I don't think I'm going to keep it. And then this is the last one that I have, which I'm going to be keeping. So we got rid of a lot of like the liquid blushes that I have, probably about half of those, which is good. Love that for me. And then I have this one from LA Girl. It's the cream gel blush in the shade Perfectly Pinched, or LA Colors in the shade Perfectly Pinched. I don't know. I think I might get rid of that one too. I just never use it. There's no point in keeping stuff I don't use anymore, you guys. Like, and I have to be realistic with myself. So these are my my potted She Glam blushes. These also are really nice. They are much more powdery. Like these I've worn as lipstick because they dry down to a powder. So I'm gonna keep all three of these. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this is the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade In the Sun. I'm gonna keep that. I love Fenty, so I'm gonna keep that. This is Cookie from Benefit. It is in like the old packaging. I'm gonna keep this as well. This is probably like the one really blinding highlight that I'll keep. Becca bronzer in the shade Bali Sands. This is a really good bronzer if you've got pale skin, but it's been discontinued. Because it's been discontinued, I don't reach for it. I love the packaging, but I think I'm going to declutter that one as well. My two She Glam bronzers I'm going to be keeping, just because these are my shades. Keep those. Shelly from Benefit is a really pretty color. I like the formula. I'm going to keep that. Wet n Wild in the shade Pinch Me Pink is just a really, I don't know, it's kind of like a brighter, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. That's a bright pink. I don't wear bright pink blush. I never have. If I do, it's because I'm mixing it with something else. ColourPop in the shade The Real Thing. This is another one of those super huge highlights. I'm just gonna get rid of that. We're getting better about decluttering. It's still not perfect, but it's getting better. Okay, Give Me Glow in the shade You Want a Peach of Me. This I'm gonna declutter because it pulls orange, so I don't need that. It pulls orange on me. Hula Light. Again, the old packaging. This is like a contour shade on me. It's such a pale gray color. I love it. Soul Body in the shade Light. This is like a dupe. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Chanel bronzer. I'd say it's more of like a dupe for the Anastasia one because its consistency is more like that. But if you're looking for a cream bronzer that's really light, this is beautiful. Okay. I have the shade Light and I have the shade Fair, and I use them both really frequently. So I'm going to be keeping both of those. Here's my other one. This is in the shade Fair. Just gave you guys a difference in the shades. There's the difference. This one's Fair, this one's Light. So not crazy different, but it is a difference in the undertone. So both of those. Okay, Patrick Ta monochrome blushes. I have the shade She's Adorable. I don't know if these have been discontinued or not, but I don't reach for these because I have so much other shit. And I want to reach for these, so I'm going to keep that. This Ione blush in the shade Sophie. That is hella freaking bright. I'm going to get rid of that one. Those are from Dollar Tree. They're not bad formula or anything. I'm never going to wear it because it's so bright. Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. I love this. Keeping California. I barely used it. It's not a bad product, but I never use it, so I'm just gonna get rid of her. Koki in the shade Delight. These are like their ombre brushes or the gradient. This is like the pink that I'm talking about. It's like a really soft pink, but because it's an ombre, it goes from really light to the darker shade. I can swirl my brush in this pan and get like a perfect in-between shade. So I'm going to keep that one. My MAC isn't going anywhere. This is in the shade Soft and Gentle. This is OG highlighter. Like, oof. Just, oof. I love that. Makeup by Mario. Bronzer. Cream bronzer in the shade Light Medium. Really pretty. Really lovely. Keeping. This is another one of those MAC powders that I'm going to get rid of. It's been discontinued by the brand. I'm not keeping it. AOA Studio Perfecting Finishing Press Powder, what have you nonsense. I'm getting rid of it. It's Stark White. My Tarte blush stick, Man-Eater blush stick in the shade Pink. Yep, in the shade Pink. I'm keeping. This was one of my favorite products of 2023. Like, I really did enjoy it. So I'm going to keep that. And then, let's see what else we got in here. Fenty Kilowatt Highlighter in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. Again, one of the only highlighters I use on a regular basis. So I'm going to keep that. And then I have my NARS stick in Cora Cabana. This is a really lovely cream highlighter too. I use this quite a bit. It is more subtle, but it works really well as like an just like a very natural highlighter. Like, I've worn this before when I have on no other makeup, and you can't tell because it's so pretty. Okay, this is from Ione. It's in the shade Emma. That's a highlighter. I might keep that because I don't have very many drugstore / affordable highlighters. ColourPop. I bought it. I never reached for it. It's Stark White again. It's a really pretty like inner corner highlighting shade, but I'm not going to reach for that. It was a phase in my life. This one is in the shade Baby Rose from Ione. That one I might keep. How similar is it to this? Oh no, that's a different finish, so never mind. These are my Maybelline blushes. These are like a satin finish, so I'm going to keep that. And then Fenty Cream Blush in the shade Peony Dropper or Droppa and Malibu's. if she would come out with more blushes like in this format, I would love it, because these are very pretty separately, but when you mix them together, they make the most beautiful, like, flushed cheek. I love it. I'm gonna keep that. It was limited edition from a few Christmases ago. Okay. Vive in the shade Pesca. This is like the powdered blush. So I'm going to keep that. NARS in the shade South Beach. I've mixed this on my cheek before too. It's just a really lovely color. Yeah, I'm going to keep that. I have the shade, this is another, it's just another Maybelline. It's almost like too pale, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. Koki, again, I don't know why I don't mind. That one might be actually a little too light. No, that might be okay. We'll try that one. It's this color. It's in the shade Cheeky. We're not decluttering as much as I would have hoped, but we're not decluttering, if that makes any sense. Like, as much as I have, I don't know what I was expecting. Okay, so another Koki. This one is in the shade Heartthrob. You can really see the ombre in that one, so I'm going to keep that. MAC in the shade Double Gleam. For a highlight, I'm keeping. This NYX Wonder Stick. I got this as gratis when I worked at Ulta. I've literally never used it, so I'm going to get rid of that one. MAC Glow Play Blush in the shade Peaches and Dreams. It's not really, well, it is like more peachy, but it's still within like the realm of, if this was any more orange, I would get rid of it, but I really like that formula, and I don't mind the color, especially when I do like a powder blush over top of it, because it kind of changes the color a little bit, so it's not so orange on my skin. Revolution Beauty Cream Bronzer. This is amazing. It's really good. You guys can see it's kind of an oilier bronzer. I use it. I'm going to keep it. This one from Essentially Ages from Dollar Tree. I'm going to keep, just because I do want to do like a video trying Dollar Tree makeup. And then I have this one from Maybelline, which isn't really similar to that. But okay, let me see. This one's CoverGirl Rimmel Maybelline. I think I'm going to get rid of the Maybelline one for right now. Keep these. Well, not for right now. It's staying gone. I have this Flower Beauty Day Glow Highlighting Glaze. I'm going to get rid of this. It's not bad. I just don't use it. Pat McGrath's Lab in the shade Love Struck. It's one of the Divine Rose blushes. I'm keeping that. I love Pat McGrath's like cheek products that I've tried. Vive Bronzer Balm Modern Cream Bronzer in the shade Medium. There's that shade, and then I have the other one in here too. In the shade Light. So here there's like more of a jump in shades. This one I will like bronze with all over. This one, if I want to be a little bit more snatched, I will go in with this. This I'm going to keep both of them. They both got like decent tints in them. I do use them on a regular basis. So there's that. Essence. I don't even know if they have these anymore, these Essence blushes. They're really pretty. I don't know if, are these still around? I can't remember if they are or not. I don't think I've seen them on Ulta's website since they've come out with like the baked blushes, but I'm not really 1000% sure. See, this Essentially Ageless one is too light. I'm gonna get rid of that one. This is another Shop Miss A one, so I'm gonna keep that one for videos. Let me get out. That one's too bright. I can tell just by looking at it, it's too bright. So these are like the rest of my drugstore blushes, and straight away, these Essence ones all kind of like look the exact same. If we're being really honest, it's just a matter of like, are they a shimmer finish? Like that one is a shimmery, shiny blush, whereas this one is like a matte finish. But I mean, I guess there's like a slight difference in them, but being realistic with myself, I'll probably wear this one the most. So I'm gonna get rid of these three. And then these ones, like this one's from Wet n Wild, Maybelline. This one's too shimmery, so it's gonna go. These ones aren't really similar at all to each other. But again, like if I'm being realistic, I'm gonna keep this one, and I know I have other blushes that color, so I'm gonna reach for more. Not even because like Maybelline makes bad products. I think Maybelline makes excellent quality products. Like for the price, under any circumstance, they make amazing products. I don't reach for it that often. Then I have my other Maybelline powder in the shade 100 that I'm gonna keep because I use that to brighten. I have this blush in the shade Divine Rose 2 from Pat McGrath. Keeping this one is from Give Me Glow. It's in the shade Marvelous. It's really pretty, like almost purpley mauve. So I'm gonna keep those. I have these other two monochrome moment blushes from Patrick Ta in She's Passionate and She's Seductive. So I'm gonna keep those. And then ColourPop Manifest That highlight. It's gonna go, I don't reach for it at all. Pat McGrath in the shade Orchid is going to stay. Let's see, what else is in here? We're almost done. I mean, I've got my other NARS stick in the shade Maui. That is like a blush color that I'm going to be keeping. And then my bronzer in the shade Dusk from Tarte that I'm going to be keeping. Love those. And then see, like, this is what I mean. This e.l.f. and this Shop Miss A, like, you can't tell me they're not dupes of each other. I realize, like, this is a blush and a shimmery blush, and this is a bronzer and a blush, but still, like, they look almost identical. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I'm actually gonna get rid of that too. I know I just got it, but the likely chances of me reaching for it are just not. This one from Rimmel, the Jelly Bronzer, it's gonna go. It still smells fine. It's just, I don't use it. I've never used it. I think I've swatched it like 3 times and that's it. This one in Halo from Give Me Glow. This is one of my favorite highlighters from them, so I'm gonna keep that. Then, okay. MAC Go Play Blush in the shade Blush Please. I love this color. I'm gonna keep that. And then MAC Give Me Sun Bronzer. I don't know if this has been discontinued or not. I really like it, so I'm gonna keep it. And then this is in the shade One in a Melon from Give Me Glow. I'm gonna keep that because all they did was change the packaging on those. Like, it's the same formula as far as I'm able to tell. It's what they've come out with recently, so I'm just gonna keep what I've got instead of having to buy new ones. ColourPop in the shade Just My Plush. I kept this the last time I decluttered. I'm gonna get rid of it now. I haven't reached for it since that last declutter. This is in the shade Honey Love from KKW. I'm gonna keep that. And then this Maybelline one, it's gonna go. Not even because, like I said, it's bad. I don't reach for it. I know what I reach for. That's not it. I've got Trophy Wife in the Kilowatt highlighter from Fenty. This is too dark for me, but it's such an iconic, like truly iconic product that I can't bear to part with it. And I do sometimes use it as like a single eyeshadow or whatever. So I'm gonna keep that. And then I'm gonna keep, let's see. Oops, this is a Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush Mini. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna keep my MAC in the shade Cherry Tree. Keep that, and I'm gonna keep my Clinique Cheek Pop in the shade Fig Pop. Then let's see what else we got. This is Pat McGrath Labs in the shade Nude Venus 2. Keep that. ColourPop Powder Bronzer. I'm likelihood that you're gonna use it though, Shanna, because that's a little bit light for powder bronzer. It's not bad. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. And then MAC Whisper of Guilt highlight I'm gonna keep as well. So I'm gonna show you guys what this mess looks like right now. This is the stuff. Basically everything on this side I'm decluttering. Everything on this side I'm keeping, which is still a lot of stuff, but I got rid of more than what I thought I would. So we're just gonna go with it, okay? Okay, let's do this. All right, you guys, this is drawer 1, and I took out the screws in my drawer so I can pull it all the way out. So this is what this one looks like. This whole section back here is like just cream blushes that are in pots, and then I have my Kaleidos sticks and liquids, more liquids, various like face products there. And then in this drawer, it's not as neatly organized. This one's still a little bit of a mess. But I'm telling you right now, like, this whole situation is 1,000 times better than what it was because I had makeup in this drawer too. So we're doing better. We're deep cleaning for 2024, y'all. I will see you all in my next one. Bye.